All right, so today we're talking about the S.A.F.E Portal. Now, I'm always getting asked, what is the S.A.F E Portal? How does it work? And do I use it? So we're going to break down exactly what this S.A.F E Portal is. Now, starting off, where can you find the S.A.F E Portal? The S.A.F E Portal is in every Black Zone portal town. So I'm in Fort Sterling, and this is what it's going to look like on the map. Now, each portal town is going to be a little bit different, but we should be able to see them all. So if we come to Thetford Portal, it's going to be same corner. We come down to Martlock Portal, same corner. So it appears you could find them in the same corner of every portal town. Bridgewatch Portal, same corner. And Limhurst, same corner. So it will appear on your map as this blue sort of crackly energy looking portal. That is the S.A.F.E Portal. Now, it's an acronym. Do I know what it stands for? No. Does it matter? Also, no. So, what it does, now the S.A.F.E Portal will take you 3 to 10, as you can see their travel distance, 3 to 10 regions away from Portal Town. So, into the Outlands. The S.A.F.E Portal's untamed energy randomly teleports solo players deep into the Outlands. So if you're in a group, you cannot use the S.A.F.E Portal together. If me and, let's say, Buddy Boy go out into try to use the S.A.F.E Portal, I could get teleported to Zone A, and Buddy Boy could get teleported to Zone L, for all I know. You cannot use it as a group. This allows for quick access to otherwise hard to reach and more rewarding areas. Now, that could be a little bit misleading because, as the name implies, it does prioritize safer zones. And we all know the safest zone is the lowest population zone. And if you're thinking about that just pretty linearly, the lowest population zones are probably going to be the tier 5 zones, or maybe Q1 tier 6 zones or something like that. Now, it doesn't always mean that's what you're going to get. You could get yeeted. 10 zones away can get you into the inner ring. So you could get a Q6 T8 zone for all you know. But just a bit of a disclaimer. So into the Outlands and back again. For 90 minutes after arriving in the Outlands, you can return to the origin city through your portal. So you will have this portal on the map where it drops you for 90 minutes. Only you can see the location of your portal on the region and the world map, so it cannot be camped by gankers. That's a huge benefit. The ability to travel back via the portal is disabled if you retrieve items from a bank, gain items from player trades, or visit another city or hideout. This also includes smugglers' dens. Anything that changes your R-back ability, essentially, or retrieving items from a bank, will disable your S.A.F.E Portal. So if you're just going out there for a quick fame farm run, you want to drop into a zone, run some camps, that's great. You go out, you come back. If you're about to do what we're about to do for gathering, you go out, gather the zone, come on back. But if you're going out to get to a smuggler's den, you won't be able to take it back. If you go out there and trade with another player, you won't be able to take the portal back. So that is how the S.A.F.E Portal works. Now, do I often use the S.A.F.E Portal? That's the question I get asked a lot. That's the question I get asked a lot. And the answer is no. I typically don't. What I will instead do is come over here to whichever exit I choose. I'll come up with a chosen zone that I want to go to, and I'll take the Invis Shrine, and then I will get out there that way. But today we will take the S.A.F.E Portal just to see how it goes. If it's profitable, does it get us a lot of fame? But another one of the reasons I don't take it is because at the bottom here, you see that there is a cost. So 150,096 silver cost. That's the baggage cost. Now, this doesn't scale up with books like a travel planner would. Thank God. Thank the heavens, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. But it does cost in your inventory. So if I were to have a full inventory, this may skyrocket. Now, I've never gone out with a full inventory, and I really don't want to test it. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to go out. It's going to be 150,000 cost, so we're going to have to subtract that from our silver profit at the end. As you can see, I've got my double-bladed staff, full set of randomized gathering gear. Not randomized, but we've got our Skinner's garb for the hide boss or hide mobs, the minor work boots for escape, this for the shield, the harvester's cap, and potentially the sleep. Not that I ever really use it, but then also my grizzly bear for its pure tankiness. So full set of tools, journals that are already semi-filled, bringing gathering pots, and of course pork pies. So all of that, 150,000. So let's go out there and take the gamble on the 3 to 10 zones away. So getting out here dropped me in Runnelvale Bog. It is a tier 6 zone, 6 to 15 people. Okay, so you come out here, reset camera, brings you right back out. So this got me pretty damn close to the inner ring. So Runnelvale Bog is a Q3 tier 6 swamp zone. And I immediately see some goodies. Where am I on this map? Now, real quick, before I actually gather that, let's get that starting fame. Starting fame is 25,710,117. So let me go ahead and get that into a calculator real quick. So it is 25 mil. What was it? 710, 117. Okay, so now I've got that placeholdered, and now we can start gathering. Now, just because the safe portal sends you somewhere does not mean you have to stay in the zone that the safe portal sends you. I have full ability. I can backtrack into Float Shoal Flow. It's a T5 mountain zone. I can go up to this T7 Iceburn Cliffs. I can go to this T5 Runnelvale Slope. That is not going to affect your safe portal. Now, I'm going to head to this treasure. It is 6 flat wood, but I will gather along the way. The enchant rate's not bad out here, 16%. Now, something to point out is what the safe portal actually looks like. So down here on the minimap, you can see it. It says go back to Fort Sterling portal. When you open it up, that's what it looks like as well. So if you're trying to escape, this is where you want to run to. You can see your portal on the map. And like I said, you're the only one who can see it on the map. So it cannot be camped by gankers. Now, once you're out here, essentially you just treat it like any normal Black Zone gathering run. So I keep an eye on the player count, 0 to 5, 6 to 15. It keeps fluctuating. That tells me there is about 5 people in this zone. I keep an eye on my exits, so I've got this place really close. Then I've got exits on all 4 sides. This is a tunnel because there's no path that leads straight to it. But know how to escape, know where you're going. Potential safe zones. I have no friendly territory or smuggler's dens in here. So if I'm being chased, my best bets are either the exits or going back out into the Fort Sterling portal through the safe portal. Now, realistically, swamps are probably one of my least favorite zones, just because of the frequency I have to dismount and fight everything. If I want fiber, you know, I got to dismount and fight the dryads. If I want skin, I got to dismount and fight the lizards. Now, one of the benefits for me about being sent out to a quality 3 zone is the gathering fame bonus. So we are getting 35% more gathering fame than we would for getting, let's say, 5.1 in this zone versus 5.1 in the red zone. I'm getting 35% more fame. That's also 35% more fame than what I would be getting in the roads. And we all know how I love to just praise the roads, but I'm still getting more fame out here. And it hasn't even been a full quarter of the pie. I'm already up about 250,000. Just to get to this treasure, I'm going to prioritize the T6s on the path, and then I'll start grabbing everything again. So that has 1 out of 30. I'm not going to take the final tick because same reason that person left that one tick. I don't want people in the zone to know that there is another gatherer nearby. Me being that other gatherer. When that disappears, even if there's 0 to 5, they could be lurking in a hideout. They could be sitting in a group dungeon somewhere. They could be just on the other side of the border waiting to pounce on somebody. We've all been there. We've all experienced the tactics of gankers. So leaving that one tick just helps our safety. Now that sure filled up my inventory, so hopefully I don't get anything too crazy moving forward, or else I'll have to trash some of this stuff. Realistically, I can't get these event guys with my double-bladed staff. Just pretty unlikely. I think I did that on purpose. Oh my god, these guys are everywhere. Major annoyance. Another tip to the SAFE portal is wearing the variety of gear. So I've also been asked, why don't I wear a full set of specialized gear? Like, why don't I wear all skinners or all miners or all fiberers? Well, the reason, for the most part, is because when you take the SAFE portal, you never know where you're gonna go. But also, when I pick a zone randomly, I also don't know where I'm gonna go. Just as I don't know why that aggroed this guy instead of actually aggroing the stupid little fiber thing. But the reason I would recommend a variety set is because you don't know where the SAFE portal is going to drop you. So it dropped me in a swamp. So I'm getting skin, wood, and ore. So 2 out of 3, I'm getting a bonus on thanks to the head and the chest piece. Thanks to that full journal, it opens up another inventory slot for me, so fantastic. And so far, rounding out to about half a pie, we are now up to almost, just under, 750,000. So 750,000. Less than a quarter of a pie, we were at 250. Now, another quarter of a pie later, we are at 750. So not a bad curve in terms of profit. If you've liked the advice I've given you so far, it would go a lot farther to help me out by subbing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and you get access to a whole lot of good content. I've talked the most on roads, I'd say, but I'm going to start talking on Mist and Blackstone Gathering a little bit more in the educational sense. So if you want to see content like that, like I said, drop a sub. Sad news for off-hours players, by the way. If you have not gotten a chance to read the patch notes, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of changes in the patch notes. Most are good, but there's a couple that aren't that great, and this one goes out specifically to you off-hours players. So those of you who play in the off-hours, I would definitely go into the patch notes and read about the dynamic spawn changes that have happened in this patch. So I'm going to touch on what it means for gatherers, but there's also a lot of changes for PvE players as well. So basically, the dynamic changes that came out way back in the day, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, way before even I was playing, basically introduced dynamic respawn on resources. Less players overall, resources respawn slower. Well, now they've taken that one step further, and now, for off hours, when there's less players, things like Enchanted Mists spawn significantly less often. So not only are we being hamstringed by the lower respawn rate of resources in the open world in general, now we unfortunately have less access to Enchanted Mists. The 16% enchant rate has really been serving us pretty well. It's been serving me pretty well this session. And also, as you can see right up here, this is your safe portal binding, telling you the time remaining. So I have about an hour and 8 minutes left. You know, let's see if we can take this. Oh, never mind. That's that 8 flat one-handed dagger. So Mind Gap is pretty much a sworn enemy to my alliance. I don't know why. I think they're moody, but we're just gonna avoid them. Luckily, he has poison pots, which of course he could have brought an invis pot swap, but I should be able to see him coming. Let's just assume he didn't. I feel like he's following me. It doesn't make me feel comfortable at all. So what do I do when I feel uncomfortable? I stay relatively close to my safe portal. Now, technically up here it says that if I lost my mount, I would be over encumbered. While that is true, the number is off. If I were to lose my mount right now, I would not be 103% over encumbered right now. For some reason, it does not properly calculate pork pie carry weight. I have no clue why. Not a bad amount of T6 resources. This zone, though, has been 16 to 30 for a while, and I was about to say I have not seen a blob, but hey, look at that. It's a blob. based on the skeletons we've seen so far, it does look like somebody's wrapping around this edge and taking all of the T6 skin. Now, luckily, we found a whole bunch of it earlier, but... Now, typically, for profit, I wouldn't go for these tier 4, but some of this is going to go to my guild, and we do need the tier 4 and the 4.1 resources. So with my pie about to expire, I'm going to go ahead and get this last T6 skin, and then work my way back to my portal. So, I know I was only out here for 30 minutes, but you could be out here, like I mentioned in the beginning, up to an hour and a half before that portal expires. So you do want to keep an eye on it. I do also think it was recently buffed, because I'm pretty sure it used to only be an hour. So now what I was talking about can be seen apparent up at the top. So we were with the pork pie just over 100% carry weight. It expires, and now we're up to 612. I don't think it knows what math means. But, so if I were to lose my mount right now, I would be 615% over encumbered. I think it's safe to say I'm not going anywhere. And that is the one downside of the Grizzly, but it does force you to practice those soft skills I keep preaching. Pay attention to your surroundings. Learn the mount and dismount method. Learn what's a threat and what's not a threat, and how to tell the difference. Very nice. 6-1 and a 4-3. A full 4-3 tree. That's nice. I wish it was the cub, or the pup, or whatever they call it for the lizard. I mean, that's not bad, but it's only 27,000, whereas that tier 7 cub, oh, that'll go for, pretty sure, close to $1 million. All right, and just like this is what the safe portal looks like. As you can see, you can't see it, and then you get close to it, and then boom, there it is. So, like I said, gankers can't see it, enemies can't see it, nobody can see it until you get close. I'm actually going to go back and get that 6-2 real quick, and then I will grab the rest of this and leave. Now, a quick note, and I can showcase this, but there is a repeated use charge. So if you're going out through the safe portal for PvE purposes and you keep getting killed, I believe that charge keeps going up. Now, it may not be as high, it may not be 150,000 because you may not be going out with tools, but if you're going out with full gear, I'm pretty sure that charge just keeps increasing if you keep using it repeatedly. So let's go back through. And see, it takes me just right back to Fort Sterling portal. And now, thanks to everything I have in me, well, everything I have on me, sorry, the cost would go up to 280. So it's based on your inventory. Of course, I had, you know, full set of tools, some books, all that good stuff. So, let's come on over here. And I'm just going to pop my tools, gathering pots, and unfilled journals into here, as well as things I can't sell. Where is it? Get those out of there. So this run, 30 minutes, 30-ish minutes, right? A little bit over. We made 1.57 million. 1,574 1 or sorry 5 million. Geez, wow. 1,574,704 minus 150, that brings it down to about 1,425,704. I did some rounding there, but 1,425,704 is not bad for roughly 30 minutes out of the safe portal. Now, keep in mind, please, not all zones are created equal, and it has the chance to drop you anywhere within 3 to 10 zones away from portal. While I got a Q3 tier 6, you could get a Q1 tier 5, and it will not be as profitable, but you also get the chance of a Q6 tier 8, and if you get hella lucky, you could be way more profitable. So just keep that in mind. It is a bit of a gamble, but as we can see here, not always a bad one. Just be sure that you can afford to pay the charge. Now, of course, we do want to see how much fame we made, so starting fame value was 25,710,117, and we are walking away with 25,772,486, meaning we got 62,369 fame. For a 30-minute session, that is not bad, and if you were to just do the math, you know, what's 30 times 2 brings it to an hour, we'd be looking at over 124,000 fame, which would definitely put it into the top tiers of runs. So, ask yourself, as you've asked me, as I've been asked before, is the safe portal worth it? Is the safe portal valuable? Absolutely. Will the safe portal make you money? I just proved it did. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. The previous video I did about the new mist changes is linked down below, as well as the full playlist to this series, just chock full of good hints, tips, tricks, and advice, as well as just quality content, so be sure to check it out. I will see you guys next time.